On this episode, I picked the brain of a guy that's no stranger to mental toughness. His name is James, and being challenged is his game. Now, I've known James since my first job waiting tables, which he left to join the Marines, came back home, and at 46 decided to become a fireman. I believe James's ability to conquer the mental aspect of ourselves only allows him to live a more full and plentiful life. And the only way you can really obtain this is by putting yourself in situations which James does masterfully. We also talk about when your tank runs out, John, we gotta go. Let's jump in.
Everybody, you get a podcast, you get a podcast, you get a podcast. Everybody gets a podcast. Welcome to a moderately good podcast. I'm Scotty. That was Oprah. It's a dual podcast tonight. Before I get started with my fantastic guest that I have, I want to give my regular shout outs. So that's Above Average Joe Media. You know what he does. Just go to my Instagram, look at all my cool photos. My guy Jason in Wish Pocket. He does miracles with some of the audio that I give him. So, especially if you're into sound guys or like, you know, you have a band or anything, you're looking for somebody to really like make you sound amazing. Hit my guy, Wish Pocket. That's Jason. And, my man, Jaron, he has No Names Originals. It's, custom artwork and custom bleach clothing. I've worn it on the podcast before. So, go to his Instagram and check him out. And then last but not least, my guy, Mo, he has the Go Bubble app. That is the detailing service to your house. And if you use the discount code Go Moderately, you get some sort of discount. I don't know how much it is. It's more than you have right now. I'm just going to keep saying that. It's more than you have right now. It's a bonus. Maybe it's $5. Maybe it's $5 off. I don't know. Surprise.
You never know. It could be free.
It could be free.
Free. Yep. If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah. It could be free, guys.
Who doesn't like free?
So this gentleman, the way we met is similar to my previous guest because we all worked at the fancy Casa Olay in the mall. This is my guy, James. Say hi, James.
What up, Scott?
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, brother. How
long had it been since we seen each other? When you walked in, did you figure it out?
Shoot, I didn't even start thinking. 96 when I left the Marines. Think I came back. You already moved up here, I believe. When'd you move to Austin?
Yeah, well, I kind of went back and forth a little bit. So,
well, most people did back and forth for school, but
I think I came back in like 2005. I think that's when it was. Something like
permanently?
that. Yeah, I think so. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, because I left in 96 and got back home in 2000, and I was just trying to find somewhere to start a career back home.
So, I don't think I have to ask you if you remember this because I'm pretty sure you do. Do you remember, like, I mean, I feel like you were pretty good at it, all the pranks that we pulled on each other in the restaurant?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly just go through the ones where you remember. Go through all the ones you remember, and I'll tell you if I can't remember.
Man, the one that always sticks out of my head that I always tell Celeste about, or my wife, I've told her a few times, is how Billy would mess up the food on purpose, but he'd spice it up like up here to the max, like super hot and spicy. He's like, hey man, this meal, they changed their mind. Who wants this? And we jump on it. I remember eating one and I was like, oh, this is hot. And I remember Josh was going to town. He's like, he got up his entire mouth. All this was red. I'd never seen that before. And I just laughed so hard because he's on fire and the poor guy's like starving to death. And he's like, what'd I do? I was like, I don't know, man. It's pretty good to me. That, and then Sunday wrestling between kitchen and wait staff.
Yeah.
When they pulled Crosby through, we're trying to have a tug of war with a human being, trying to get him back into the waiting area or where the waiter stood, and the kitchen guys, you remember how those guys are all huge.
Oh, yeah.
And us, we were that big ourselves, but, you know, we're sitting there fighting with a human being.
Because most of those guys were grown men. Yeah. We were just like kids, you know what I mean?
Boys, yep.
Yeah. I actually did not know about the spicy food one. That is genius.
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious.
Okay,
Billy
so
was a mastermind.
All right, so I'm going to start calling some out, and then you tell me if you remember them not. Keys in the door. Do you remember that one?
It sounds familiar. I remember Billy with the keys throwing them up and throat chopping people and just catch them, keep walking. When you look up, wow.
I forgot about
Dude,
that.
I do that to my sons all the time now. I'm like, oh, what's that? Wow, throat chop. With the keys to the door. Ah, that
Okay,
sounds
so
real
you may tell you what
familiar.
it was?
Yes. Please.
So Billy would run his keys through the impinger oven. And he'd grab them with the pliers and then he'd put them in the door and he'd walk across and yell at somebody across the way and go, hey, can you throw my keys out the door? I forgot them.
Did he get you with that?
Oh, yeah.
You're screaming.
Sour cream on the time card.
You reach up to the punch out like, oh,
or sour cream on the phone.
Man, we had so many pranks there.
Do you remember the one where we would take saran wrap and cover a glass of water and then like pretend like we like slipped and fell? That was a good one.
I remember if you leave your drink up there, somebody put salt in it. That's a typical restaurant one, but I remember doing that. I was like, oh, great. Who put bleach in my drink? People like, and I was like, no, I'm kidding. But I was like, man, that's kind of dangerous. People putting salt. You don't know.
What if like somebody raised their hand? Like in the back, there was like me. You're like, what?
Sorry, bro. Stop
Man.
messing with my stuff. Okay.
Hey, so what was your biggest takeaway from working there and that time? I had never, and growing up in my little small town, I had never experienced like that was my first wait job.
Yeah.
I'd never experienced camaraderie kind of like that.
Yeah, and I don't see that anywhere either because I think that was a special time, really. I don't know what it was, but I think there was 26 graduates alone, from that restaurant alone, just 26 kids graduating at one time. But I do remember applying and Billy needed help on the wait floor, so he hired me as a waiter. And later on, some months later or whatever, he told me initially he was going to put me as a kitchen guy. And I was like, man, I'm glad you didn't hire me because I would have left. I was like, man, it looks miserable back there. But those guys all had fun. But I guess I kind of fit in with them. You know, as a big Mexican guy, you know, big dude. A couple of those guys could be my brothers, you know. But
Or at least related in some sort, huh?
yeah, of course, you know how we are. But I couldn't even explain how we all just got along so well. You know, even the older ones, which I think, let me see, you had to be 18 to be a waiter. And I want to say the oldest person there, it was Billy. He's at 24.
Yeah.
Other than Lalo, the kitchen guy, and he was what, 35?
But do you know, Billy felt so old to me. Not,
Really?
hey, Billy, if you ever watch this, not that you were old, but I was just so young.
Yeah.
And Billy had done so much. You know what I mean? He had experienced a lot of life at that point, and he was a manager of a restaurant. You know what I mean?
And I was always amazed. I was like, he was 24, man, running a restaurant. And he had served in the Air Force. He was in Panama. Was it Air Force? Yeah. I remember he was in Panama. That's where you met his first wife in Panama. I was like, dang, Billy, how old are you? I was like, you're only 24?
I mean,
he tripped me out.
Yeah, he just experienced a lot of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you were saying like you don't think that kind of exists anymore. And this is just a thought. Is it just simply because like we didn't have cell phones? Because like think about it, like in the back of a weight room, probably what it looks like if they're waiting on food or if they're like not doing anything, they're probably on their phone, right?
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't have phones. So we were just standing around talking to each other. We would just stand around and talk to each other. Like the whole
side work, cleaning, laughing,
yeah,
joking.
but you know what I mean? We were always interacting with each other. Like, you know, like, I mean, literally, like, you know, you think about it, you would go in, you would just say hi to everybody that worked there that goes in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there was no other distraction. I don't know. What do you think? I
think so. Because those cell phones are such a distraction now for everything.
Yeah, for everything.
I'm calling my sons and I look over, what are you doing? There's both of them sitting right next to each other. I was like, guys, what? Yeah, I'm sorry, what? You know, got to pretty much yell at them to get their attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You know, you go back there. I can imagine being back there now sweeping and stuff and, oh, watch out, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody's on their phone, just standing there out of the way. Move them out of the way. You know, they're just like looking down. Hey, your order's been sitting there for a couple minutes. Oh, snap. My bad. Let me put my phone up and go.
I think, I don't know. I just think it wouldn't be fun.
Probably not.
I think that, what do you think? Do you think that because we had a camaraderie, like the night went by fast?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of bonding under pressure. I don't know. It was just like, I really feel like it was just because we were always interacting with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, then we met, like I said, I guess we were all friends. A lot of us were friends. And then we met their friends and we just took each other in as friends.
I mean, we were getting people jobs like left and right.
Yeah.
We're like, just come work with us.
Yeah, come on, guys. Billy will hire you right away. And sure enough, like 3 guys at one time, bam. So I think I got hired on. I think he hired 4 people. and only 2 of us made it. I guess one guy was there training one night, never seen him again. I was like, I don't know what happened to that dude. And it's not like it was hard, you know?
No.
But
for some people, it was just too much pressure. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like, people are like, I can't wait tables. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do this. I was like, it's not that hard, you know? You just be positive about it. You know, if somebody has an attitude, don't even worry about it. They're not mad at you, per se. They're just mad at everything else.
Yeah.
They're mad at the prices. I'm like, I don't control that. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry the kitchen's taking forever. You know, apologize.
I think you had a very good way of making your tables feel very comfortable very fast. And when you said earlier that, like, basically in a nutshell, you're like, my talents would have been wasted in the kitchen. Like, that's totally true, right? Because you just I remember, like, I don't know, you just being so jolly. And it's almost like the person with the stiffest face, like you could kind of break them. I don't know. That's what I remember.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because I just meant I don't want to be working, because I mean waiting wasn't hard compared to being in the kitchen and the heat all day, you know, cooking and stuff. I was like, that just seemed like I said, those guys look miserable a lot of times. Right. That's what I was thinking. I said, man, I don't want to be working back there washing dishes all day. Right. It looks like it sucks. But those guys are always having fun too, you know?
I think that was cool too.
Yeah, those guys were a whole crew on their own, man. Yeah. Like, we got along, and whenever we have a
did all the kitchen guys party with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's to say, whenever we got down somewhere, they were there too, and we all just got along. It's not like animosity or hatred with anybody.
I couldn't quite remember. I know that when I worked at Chili's, like in college, we all partied together. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Was that movie Waiting? You seen that?
Yeah, me and Josh talked about it, but I was kind of like, I was like, you know, like it's almost accurate, but kind of not. It wasn't totally my experience at Casa Ole.
No.
Or like at other places where, like when I worked at Chili's in college, it was very similar because we were all college kids. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was an age thing. Maybe it was just being the same age.
Yeah.
That we were all, you know.
Yeah, because I want to say we were all underage when we worked at Casa Ole.
I think
pretty much.
I worked on my birthday when I turned 21.
Oh, damn.
But I don't know. I was trying to be all righteous about shit, I think. I think I was like, I'm working. I'm trying to make.
Back then, you don't want to drink like.
Oh yeah, I've been drinking. I don't know. It was stupid.
You're too cool already by that point.
Yeah.
No, because I remember when we had my quote unquote going away party, and the cops busted in. Well, they didn't bust in. You know, somebody opened the door and let all the cops in the apartment. Kids just scattered everywhere, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to end well." And up until then, I wasn't even drinking that night. And I was so upset because you're like, man, you're probably going to you might go to jail for providing minors. I was like, great. I found a 6-pack and just started drinking. I was like, dude, if I'm going to jail, I mean, I'm going to sit there for a while. Who knows?
Yeah. All I remember is just everybody jumping out the second story window.
Did you go out that window?
I think I did, but I'm a lot taller than everybody.
So you have
so I can kind of like get down and like just I'm almost on the ground, right? Yeah. There's fools just like breaking ankles left and right. It felt like.
Who was it?
I think my girlfriend at the time actually sprained her ankle getting out of that window.
Because one of the kitchen guys, speak of them, I was downstairs with the officers. Finally, like, you know, people were going out. And they walked me downstairs. We're talking. And one of them missed the ground, it lands on the AC, and it, boom, that's what got their attention. And they hit him with a flashlight. Hey, freeze. He's like, you see kids just running already. I was like, oh, man, this party's over. People going to jail now. He actually landed on that unit and just fell over, made all kinds of noise.
Like, I had just gotten to that party, too. Like, I had just barely gotten there. I think I actually maybe worked or something. You know, it was something like that. And, like, I got there, like, late. And then we had to jump out a window.
Good times.
So, you just graduated from Fire Academy.
Yes.
Right? At the ripe old age of what?
47.
47. All right. Let's talk about that.
Okay, cool.
So, like, what was that like to do that? Like, what was the age of most of the other guys? How was it on, like, your body? Like, just kind of talk about the whole experience. Well, doing it at 47.
The next oldest person was 29.
Oh, wow.
So, I literally, there was a young girl there. She was 17. I was like, how old are you? And there was 17 to 29. So, I literally could have been all their dads.
Right.
Because I have a 29-year-old son myself.
Right.
So, I was like, wow. And this 17-year-old, I was like, my 17-year-old at home has no motivation to do this at all. I'm lucky if I get him out of bed early. He's like, oh, and she wants to be a firefighter. Well, what had happened was I got laid off last September, and I've been there 12 years at the same company. You know, been a warehouse manager. I've been there 12 years. I would think I was there 8 months, and I got promoted to warehouse manager. And the oil field starts picking up. And at one time, I had 18 guys working underneath me, which is awesome. but then the bottom drops out, and I'm down. At one point, I was down to 2 guys, and then 2 years ago, it was just me and the inside sales lady working there. And I asked our boss, I was like, "Hey, Chris, what's up, man?" I was like, "Are we gonna shut the store?" He goes, "No, man." He goes, "If I'm here, you're here." I was like, "That's not reassurance, bro, but okay." So it started picking up again a little bit, but the first time the bottom fell out, I was like, "Man, if I ever get laid off, I'm going back to school. I'm getting the hell away from the oil field." So sure enough, Monday morning last September, my boss calls me in his office. He says, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, I'm going to take the trucks. We're going to go do some oil changes on them." And he was, "Hold on for a second. Let me talk to you." I was like, "Uh-oh." He said, "Catch that door, would you?" I was like, "All right." And I sat in his office, and usually it was something real private when we closed the door. And he's like, "Man," he goes, "this is kind of hard." I was like, "Hey, Chris," I already knew when he said that. I was like, "Go ahead, man, spit it out just so I can hear it for myself."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, it's slow." I said, "I know it's slow." And apparently out of the 9 stores the company had, I was the highest paid warehouse manager. And I think I was the only one left on salary. So,
oh, wow. So they were, did they want to get rid of you so they could bring in an hourly person?
I'm not even sure if they replaced it because it was 2 guys. I had 2 guys working at the time. And it's so slow.
That those 2 guys could handle it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I wasn't even mad at, you know. Like I said, I've been there forever and I was so bored. I'd get there, knock out most of my day in like 2 hours and just find something to do. And I always kept wanting to go back to school, but I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So anywho, he tells me, and I was like, "All right, cool." And he said, "Man, you're taking it a lot better than I thought you would." I was like, "Dude, it's a layoff." I said, I know what time it is. You know, I know how slow it's going. So I cleaned out my office. I had an office and I like literally had boxes and boxes. I was like, "Man, I accumulated a lot of shit over the years," you know? And the real crappy thing was my wife was out of town. Her and her sister had gone to Maine, Massachusetts, Salem. They went to visit where all the witches are from. You know, they went like on a Halloween tour.
Like in October?
Well, it was September 24th.
It was getting close.
Yeah, so it was real close. And, you know.
How really quickly, how was that? Did they have a good time?
Yeah, she said, well, yeah, it was 4 of them, but 2 of them were complaining about stuff the whole time. They're like, "Well, you knew this is what we're going to do, and yet you guys want to do some other stuff." They're like, "Y'all do whatever you want."
Yeah.
But she said it was pretty fun.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
You know, and I didn't want to burden her with that. So she'd call, "Hey, what's going on?" Check up and everything. And I didn't tell her, but I posted on Facebook a couple of days later. I was like, "Hey, man, you know, 12 years, blah, blah, blah." You know, I had a very positive attitude about it because as soon as I left, I told myself, "Man, I can go home and break my sobriety and just get shit-faced drunk and wallow in self-pity, or I can not." I said, "Let me get home." Because I had it worked out that morning. I said, "Let me get home and figure something out." So on the way home, I was like, "Man, you always told yourself go back to school." And I was like, "That's what I'm going to do." So that next morning I went to VC and I started talking to people. Well, let me back it up a little bit. I prayed on it. And my main thing is something. God's been telling me I need to serve, you know, because I serve in my church and I love serving. I love helping wherever they need me, whatever I need to do. And I was like, "Lord, just guide me wherever you want me to go." And something is in my, I don't know if I saw a fire truck or something, popped up, fire truck. And I was like, serving, being a firefighter, that's pretty damn good service right there, you know, serving your community.
Right.
And I was like, who doesn't like a firefighter? So I was like, let me go check that out. And
police officers. Apparently.
Yeah, boo. I know, yeah, they're always butt heads.
No, I think it's just like it's supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? There's supposed to be this healthy competitive between them.
I got a buddy who's a cop, and at graduation, he didn't want to take a picture in fire truck. He's on his uniform. I was like, boo, you know. I was like, come on.
I think it's a whole thing, right? It's a whole shtick kind of thing.
Of course, we're the bravest. They're the finest. I'm like, whatever. You know, just police officers are ridiculous at fire scenes.
Anyways, go.
But you know, I thought about that, and I was like, okay, let me check out the fire service and fire industry. And sure enough, I went to, VC used to offer it. They don't offer it anymore. And then I went to the actual, I guess, the office. They're like, "Yeah, man, here's a flyer. We're doing PAT's physical test, I think, in about 6 weeks." I was like, "Cool, man, I'm in decent shape." Well, I was 20 pounds lighter then. But anyway, last year. So I went, tried out for it. And I'd already enrolled in school. So I was like, "Man, let me get something under my belt so I can get back into absorbing knowledge and learning."
Yeah.
And so I passed the test because you have to do, it's seven obstacles you have to do under 7 minutes. And
is it tough?
It can be because there's a lot of people that don't make it. I was like, really? I was like, it's not that hard. But I mean, you've got some of the gear on and stuff. You got to drag hoses, the last part is you grab the hose, run up and down 3 flights of steps. Well, you don't run. Most people barely make it like one step.
That's where most people give out, right? I feel like my guy Joe's a firefighter too.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talked about this, and he's like, it's those stairs at the end that just gas everybody, right?
Yeah, because you come down, I'm like, woo. I was like, all right, cool. Seeing stars and everything. But I passed that one in 5 minutes, 45 seconds. I was like, cool. Well, we had to pass it again before we finished, and I think I knocked a minute off my time.
Nice.
Which wasn't bad. Couple guys. Apparently, there's somebody that's done it in like 3 minutes. I'm like, what? I want to see that guy, but this guy's like a specimen. Apparently, I was like, okay, well, I believe it. I seen him. I was like, this is an action figure, man. This is a human action figure. Look at this guy. I know. I was like, golly. I was like, man, it made me look ugly. Just don't even want to look at him. You know?
How many calendars are you on?
I feel like on Captain America, just go touch his chest, like, you know. But yeah, so I passed that, and then I started the school in January, the Firefighter Academy, and I was so nervous because I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I don't know what I was anticipating. I thought Monday through Friday, drill, physical fitness, and it wasn't. Most of it was online. We went Thursdays for class, and then Saturdays all day was skills drills and PT. Somebody screwed up, they started PTing us. And there's people complaining about it the whole time. I was like, you know, this is a huge aspect of our job, right? We want to be a firefighter, you have to be physically fit.
Right.
And one guy's like, man, this is bullshit. I build fences all day. I don't need this stuff. I was like, I don't know, man. It's not that hard. Because I was, you know, I went to boot camp. I'm a Marine. And that was probably 10 times tougher than that. Because I was expecting that. I was expecting that kind of physical fitness. And it's not. I'm just like.
Okay. Give me the toughest thing. Can you tell me the toughest thing you did as a Marine? Like, you know, training wise, like that was really tough?
Well, one of the real tough thing is when you do boots and utes, you're in your utility bottoms and boots, and you're running on the beach with the log, 6 guys on a telephone pole, and you're running and you're doing this with it, or you're all laid out on your chest. There's only 6 of you on. You're doing sit-ups with a telephone pole, you know. And like I don't think there's more than 6 of us at a time. We'd pass it on to the next crew, or there's 4 crews of doing sit-ups with a telephone pole, you know. And we ended up doing that, just sit-ups with our arms linked, and people are complaining. I was like, guys, this ain't hard, man.
Okay,
Come
so
on.
what's the toughest thing that you did as a firefighter?
Probably the physical agility test, because we drag a hose. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. No. The toughest thing is one night I pissed off one of the instructors, and he's punishing me because there's a tire out there. And I was like, hey, I wonder if that's a tire from the gym. And I was thinking, I said, no, this one looks a lot smaller. I said that out loud, and he's like, well, it's not going to be smaller when you're carrying it over your head. And I was like, dude, there's no way in hell a human being can pick that up. It's probably like 300, 400 pounds. I said, there's no way in hell. And he didn't like that. I guess he thought I was disrespecting him because apparently it was his tire. I didn't know it was his personal tire, which he got upset about.
He's very defensive about his own personal tire.
So he's like, all right, Moreno, you're going to be the one carrying it around. I was like, okay. Well, what it was is 3 of us had to carry it over our heads around the drill field once. And then we switch out to another 3 guys. Well, I had to do it 4 rotations. He's like, no, Moreno, stay on the tire. Mendoza, Figueroa, get in there. They swapped 2 other guys. They're like, Moreno, you got it? I said, man, I got this. I mean, I'm in pain. So I was like, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to let him beat me, you know? And I did it 4 times. And then on the 5th one, he's like, all right, Moreno, get out. I said, no, I still got 1 more crew. He was, Moreno, go ahead and sit down. I was like, all right. And dude, my shoulders were just torn up that night.
I bet so.
And then we did something else and come back to it and did another round. He's like, all right, Moreno, you're done. Go ahead and have a seat. So he's letting the other people rotate in and out. So I guess he was trying to break me. I offended him is what I did. Saying,
originally, or by not letting him break you?
Originally.
Yeah.
You know, and I even apologized later. I said, look, I didn't mean to come across as saying, fuck that tire. I was just saying.
You're like, yo, I didn't know it was your tire, dog.
Yeah, and because that's what somebody said. They go, man, we heard him say something. And when you tell, oh, no way, nobody can do that. I was thinking, man, if you tell me 3 of us are going to pick it up, oh, hell yeah, we got this all day. But he says, no, you're going to pick it up by yourself. I was like, no. You know, because I told him, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not even going to tell him. I'm going to hurt myself, you know?
He acted like you offended one of his kids.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, man. I was like, did he take it that way? Because he was pretty upset about it. And I was like, man. And then.
Maybe tires were hard to come by at that time. I don't know.
I don't either, man.
Yeah.
But
It's pandemic, you know what I mean? Maybe he's like, I can't lose another one.
rubber's
But-
not cheap, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, man, that made me laugh because I was like, this dude's really upset about I said that. I was like, I even apologized to him. I said, I didn't mean to offend you, sir. I was like, I was just surprised that you wanted me to lift it over my head. He goes, well, if you let me finish, I was gonna say 3 of y'all. I was like, well, maybe you led with that. 3 of y'all are gonna pick it up over your head. I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, we got this.
I got another question.
But I was
I can't give you an answer without knowing the complete question.
yeah,
Let me
because
finish.
he's like, it's gonna be heavy when you pick it up over your head. I was like, hell no, I'm not even attempting
Wait,
that.
so what was the sentence that he said?
It's gonna be heavy. You're gonna think it's heavy when you're holding it up over your head.
Okay, now you tell me when he was you stopped him to interrupt him, and then he was gonna tell you there was gonna be 3 of y'all. How is he gonna work that into the sentence?
Yeah, see,
The
if
sentence
you
was
would've
already
said-
over.
Yeah, if
Like,
you would have said
you got-
3 of y'all.
He said, you're gonna think it's heavy and you're holding over your head. And then he was gonna say with 3 people, like he would say with 2 other people, he wasn't gonna add that on.
No, because I was like, man, hell no. I was about to do, I ain't gonna lie. So seriously, when he said that, I was about to say, I'll quit right now. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna quit. I said, I'll attempt to lift it up. I mean, I can pick it up by this high and I'll shimmy around the building. It's gonna take me an hour, but there's no way I'm gonna try to get it over my head.
So earlier when you said you were like, there was no way I was gonna let him beat me.
Yeah.
Right? Are you competitive like that? Like, are you a real kind of like when you were in the Marines, did you have that same mindset? You're like, I'm not gonna let these guys break me.
No, yeah. I think that's where it came from because
Did you have that before you joined the Marines?
no, not really.
No.
Not at all. 'Cause
So okay. Just real short answer. Why did you join the Marines? Or can you tell me, can we say it? Can we talk about it?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
man, honestly, because I was bored. Because
Working at Casa Olay, we're having such a good time, James.
yeah, and I was going to school, and I was like, "Oh, school sucks." I started VC,
Mhm.
and I just didn't like it. I was so bored with life, and my girlfriend just broke up with me, and I was like, "What else is going on here?" You know, I don't want to be a waiter forever. No offense to anybody who is, but that was just what I wanted to do. I want to do something else. So I
Okay,
went-
so you did not have that mindset. So where'd you develop that? If you didn't go into it with it, where did it come from? Like, where did it grow up from?
there at boot camp. I
So
wanna
like,
say it was
do you remember
instilled-
like the first time you were like, I'm not going to let this motherfucker break me?
Yeah,
What happened?
because just sitting there getting screamed and yelled at.
Uh-huh.
You know, you've seen the movies where they're, "Rah," and it's pretty much like that. But I was like, I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to go home all broken and sad. Like, yeah, I quit boot camp, you know, because I was like, I'm not going to go home to nothing when I just left it to go do something.
Did you ever miss Casa Olay when you were getting yelled
Oh,
at?
hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. A lot of the guys in my platoon were from Texas, and a couple of them were like, oh, you work constantly? Oh, man, that queso dip was like, hell yeah. One guy was from College Station, and
Oh, they have a Casa, or they did. I don't know if they still do.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were talking. That's what we talk about. Especially we were bigger guys. So we were they call it the diet recruits.
Yeah.
So we'd sit there at night talking about the food we're gonna eat. We got home like some fat asses. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that queso dip. Someone give me some fajitas, bro. I can't wait.
So
You know?
you're getting yelled at in the face, and you're thinking, what?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I was like, God, this sucks. What the hell was I thinking, man? You know, because I literally just walked in the recruiter's office and I was like, hey, where'd I sign up? And they're like, oh, really? Have a seat over here. You know, and we talked for a little bit, and I was slated to go within 3 weeks, but I had a bicycle accident like an idiot at the park. I was on somebody's bike, slipped on some rocks, and just had road rash all on the side of my face. And they're like, man, you can't go to boot camp with open wounds. So that pushed my day back about a month. But yeah, like I was signed up to go right away. You
And
know?
so I'd asked you like kind of where, so like, you remember the first time you kind of got yelled at, and then in that moment you were like, I'm not going to be broken. I'm not going to let these guys break me. You decided in that moment kind of, or did it still like you had to convince yourself like every single day, like, hey, I'm not going to, was it a constant, like would they up the ante on you? I guess is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you go, I'm not gonna be broken. And then they're like tomorrow, like you're carrying a
guess what?
log with like 5 other dudes. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, so it was always, they were up in the ante.
Yeah, every time, because you know, you make it past one day, it's like, all right, cool, one more day. How many more days we got to graduation? You know, I was like, cool, we got this. And it just, I guess it kept building up. And then you do the obstacle course, and it's terrifying as hell because you don't think it's that scary going up that, I forgot what they call it. It's a huge A-frame. You climb up it, it's like 50, 75 feet up, and you go over the side.
Yeah.
And when you're up there, like, holy shit, what if I fall? But I mean, because you're later not attached to anything, you can fall to your death. But you know,
Did you
you're holding
see
on.
dudes fall?
No, I did not. But I heard a couple guys dropped early and they landed on their ankle like they got 6 or 8 feet, and instead of looking down and keep going, I just went down till I hit the ground. You know, some guys they drop early and boom, like their ankles are shattered. Let's get them out of here.
Anyways, so go ahead.
But I remember doing one obstacle, and we had to go through this. It's like what's it called? Like a ditch,
like a barbed wire with mud.
No, it's a round tube.
Like
they
a
bury them in the ground,
like a pipe, like a large pipe, like a tunnel.
Yeah,
yeah,
galvanized pipe.
Yeah.
Well, going through there, low crawling, the opening's under the ground, and you're going down. You look up at the end. I was like, "Holy shit! How am I going to fit out of that?" And the opening's like that big.
What?
Because they bury it in the ground. I'm not even sure why they do it, but I came right out of the thing like nothing. I was so scared. I was like, "Oh my god!" I just put my head down and kept going. And next thing you know, I'm outside, and the drill instructor standing right outside the thing. He's like, "Thank you for making me lose all the weight, drill instructor." And I look up. I was like, "Yeah, thanks." And he kept going, "Keep going!" And he starts yelling at you, "Keep going!" And you know, you realize, like, man, I can do this. You know, it's not that hard. It's all mental, pretty much what it is. And then going back to Firefighter Academy, you know, I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna let this guy, because I mean, he's younger than me. I mean, he's a firefighter, so he's in some kind of shape. But I mean, Round's in shape too. You know what I mean? Because you'd be surprised, a lot of firefighters don't look like the, I guess, stereotypical, the action figure.
Yeah, the guy you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. They don't. That's probably like the 1%.
Yeah, probably less 1%.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm like, dude, there's no way. I was like, I know he can't do this all night long. Let me see how many rotations I can do with this tire. You know, that's probably what he's like. All right, man, you're done. Because I don't know if I proved something to him or what. He's probably just like, man, Moreno's getting my nerves.
I mean, you kind of made, it's like, sometimes I think about how maybe like boxers or fighters or Michael Jordan, I think, was famous this, like just making up like a scenario in his head to like motivate him. Yeah. Like, you know, like they said that like Michael Jordan would like kind of he would read articles and kind of make up stories that weren't exactly true just to like make him motivated. And it sounds like, you know, it wasn't like you were necessarily trying to prove him wrong. You were just like, no, I'm just going to do more than you. You know what I mean? And it's a different kind of motivation, I think.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get revenge. You're just trying to be better. You're just like, I want to be the best. I think that's very positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause I mean, you hear about him and Kobe, like after a game, after they got their ass whooped or they won, he's back there practicing. He's still practicing, getting reps in. And I was like, that makes sense. Well, I think after all that, we had to do, they call them towers. One's up and down, that's one. We had to do 20 of them.
At the very end of the test?
No, after the end of the rotation with the tires.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
Yeah, because he was drilling us this night, you know, and I think I pissed him off even more. So he's like, okay, y'all studied enough. We got 3 hours. That's PT tonight, you know? So,
and when you say night, what time is this?
Well, class started at 6 to 10.
Okay.
So it was evening.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to do 20 towers, one up, one down. That's one. Something else, and then some flutter kicks, and then, okay, we're doing 2. That's 2. Did we have to run around the building? I can't remember, but we had to do 20 of them. And then he wanted us to all stay together, and people were falling out. You know, you got the slow ones. Usually when we ran the towers, we'd put the slowest guy in front.
Yeah, because you put to push him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's all like a big separate, and people get mad because you're in a fire. You don't leave your buddy behind.
Yeah.
You know, 2 in, 2 out.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we're going up, and like, he's all right, guys, just finish it on your own. And the 2 youngest, or the fastest guys, they went and knocked him out, and I was trying to keep up with them. And I think I finished at 18, and they had finished at 20. He's all right, we're done. So I kept running. He's like, what the hell are you doing? He starts yelling at me, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, you asked for 20. I'm trying to give you 20. Get the fuck over there, man. You're going to get everybody else more of them. I was like, these kids ain't going to get up and do that again. He's like, go sit your ass down. I was like, all right. You know, because I'm beat. I'm like, fuck, man, why the hell am I doing this, you know? And I said, well, he asked for 20. Let me finish off with 20. You know, I'm at 19. I got 1 more to go. And he's all screaming at me. So I was like, man, let me just go sit down. You know, because, man, I hate to say it, but he almost got under my skin. I was like, man, if I slap the shit out of this guy, he's not going to be able to do anything, you know, because I'm bigger than him and I can probably take him. But I was like, man, that's not mature. You're better than that. And you want to be a firefighter. You find a real firefighter, it's not going to look good in anybody's eyes, you know?
How fast does that conversation happen in your head?
Oh, pretty quick. When he's yelling at me, I'm like, I wonder what to do if I slap the shit out of him. But
and then it just immediately goes away, right?
Yeah, I'm like, just shut up.
Do you think that's like maturity? Like, you know, just like,
yeah.
Because like maybe like the younger you would have like pushed into that a little bit
Easily,
more.
yeah. Easily.
Know? But I think, you know, I think everybody has to learn that. And then some people never learn.
Yeah.
You know
some people
I mean?
still want to be fighting at 45, 50 years old. I'm like, really, bro?
I ain't got no time for that.
Yeah.
Look,
That's
hey,
like,
look at this, bro. I can't mess this up. This is all I got. You know what I'm saying?
Moneymaker.
Yeah, that is my moneymaker.
Yeah, man.
So I kind of, it's not like really two questions, but I just had like two kind of questions about like some stuff I know. Well, one that we've talked about and then something I know you do. So this mental toughness that it seems like you have, like, I'm assuming you need that to accomplish this, to be a firefighter 47. You got to be that mentally tough, right?
Yeah.
How has that benefited you in your life? Like, you know, a simple answer would be like, oh, well, I did the firefighting at 47. But just like over in general, like how has that mental toughness really helped you in your life? And then maybe kind of a little quickly about like where it can kind of go wrong if you're not like good with it.
Man, you have these deep questions. No.
But you know this answer.
Definitely. Oh, man. I don't know where it's gone. I mean, other than maybe my marriage, you know, going through some deep stuff with my wife and being mentally tough and be able to handle things, you know, like, hey, we have, like, she was very ill for a while. She had congestive heart failure.
Oh, wow.
She's had a kidney transplant. And with that heart failure, she was in the hospital one year around Christmas. And I was, you know, of course, I had to put on the strong front. And I was just so worried for her. And I was like, man, if she dies around the holidays, my boys are going to hate Christmas.
Right.
They're going to hate this. And, you know, I had to put on that strong front for her and the boys. But I'd get home and I would just go to my room and just, you know, cry myself to sleep. So sad thinking about her, you know. I'm like, oh.
So let me get this straight. You're carrying 5 other dudes and you were carrying a log, y'all doing sit-ups and shit.
Yeah.
And like, that was like easy, but like the hard mental stuff for you is like your loved ones, the people you care about, your wife and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, because in telling me stories about like what you've been doing, not that you can't have that side of you, but I wouldn't have thought you would say, yeah, like, you know, I put on a strong face and then I go to my room and cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I think that, you know, crying can be a good way of trying to even out your emotions. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, because I mean,
did you ever cry in the Marines? Wait, Marine, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever cry?
Did I? I think a couple of times I did, because I think one time I got chewed out by a captain, and she was just being a dick to me.
What did she say? What did she say?
I can't remember what she said, man, but she made me feel like
you cried in front of everybody.
No.
Oh, when you got back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I went to my room, I was like, man, fuck that bitch, man. I was like, where's my beer? You know, and I was like, and I asked my buddies, I said, man, you know, I asked them, and they're like, dude, don't let her get to you. And I was like, why am I crying? I said, well, fuck this. I think I was crying more because I was drunk.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, fuck that bitch, and you know,
Did you cry? You didn't cry in the Fire Academy, huh?
No.
Yeah, you're too over there, shit.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, psh, come on, guys.
Anyways, and so, and then my second kind of question was, so you're a big fan of yoga, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to talk about how you think yoga helped you in, you can say everything that you've been doing, all the physical stuff you've been doing, or you could just talk about just making it through the Fire Academy. How has yoga affected your life physically and mentally? That's kind of what I want to know.
Okay. I want to say the main thing is the yogic breathing, if I'm saying it correctly. The breathing out.
The breathe with your diaphragm, the deep breathing, stuff like that.
Anything, even when I work out, like at school, I had weightlifting class and I'm working out and the instructor's like, or the teacher, professor, she's like, don't forget to breathe. I'm like, I am, you know, I'm making, but I'm breathing in and out through my nose. Everything I do is through my nose now, especially when you got the gear on, you try to make a 30-minute tank last because they'll go quick. 30-minute tank can go in like 10, 15 minutes because you're panicking and stuff. And I'm trying to breathe through my nose the entire time. But yeah, I'm still panicking here and there. But
Hey, so really quickly, have you ever gotten close to running out of?
oh yeah, yeah. Oh man,
Have you run out before?
yes. But I mean, luckily it was a training situation. So okay, the very first day, the first Saturday we meet up, we do this thing called the maze. It's towards the end of the day, and you go in this room, pitch black. You've got your hood on, but it's backwards, and they've got all the lights off, so it's pitch black in there. And they've already taught you this first day how to search a room. We go in there, you do a left-hand search. You know, you're touching the wall, you're looking around, and if there's an entryway, you have to make your way through that because you know there could be a victim on the other side of there. So I'm going through. It's me and my instructor. There's another guy in front of me and the 17-year-old, that female. And I think there's only 2 instructors watching all 3 of us. So I'm like, oh my goodness. He's like, yeah, you found it? He was, go in there, make your way through there. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to fit in there. I'm thinking, because it's little, man.
Yeah.
It's probably about the size of this, the opening. So I'm like, all right, cool. I stretch myself out, put my hands in, and start pushing my feet through. I'm like, okay, by the time I get through, I'll put myself out. No, it was a lot longer than, I'm 6 feet with my arms stretched out, was at 8 or 9 feet. No, I was probably like 12, 15 feet long, a little tunnel.
Are you claustrophobic?
I wasn't until this day, because they asked you that. And I was like, oh man, hell, I got this.
Yeah.
No, man, I started like panic for a second. I was like, man, so I'm pushing with my tippy toes and I'm trying to pull myself with my hands. I got all the gear on. I'm like breathing and I'm like, uh-oh. And then you hear the machine, and it starts vibrating. You've got like 10%, 25% of oxygen left.
Oh, shit.
So if you're in a fire, you hear that, hey, we got to go. We got to get out. I need some oxygen. All right, cool. Most of the time, drop what you're doing, get the hell out, re-tank, and get back in there.
Yeah.
Well, I freaking finally make it out. I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, oh my God, I didn't think that little tunnel was going to end. So then, like I said, it's still pitch black. And I got to find I got to find my way out. Now I'm inside now. So I got to figure out how to get the hell out of this room. And there's another small opening. I was like, crap. So same thing. I'm in there. My tank's vibrating. My vibrator's going off. And this one, there's wires and stuff simulating an attic with all the electrical wires.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to get hung up in there and try to figure out how to get out. Well, I'm hung up in there halfway through. I'm hung up. It's all twisted around my nozzles and my knobs, or my tank, my bottles, and my oxygen just stopped. And I'm breathing. I was like, and it just sucks to your face. And man, you're in like this. And I was like, fuck. Luckily I was able to reach my hand up here and I pulled the mask off. I was like, oh my goodness, dude. And pitch black. I'm about to start freaking out. And the instructor's like, Moreno, you in there? And I was like, I'm stuck. And he looks in and goes, man, what the hell did you do? He can see, I see his flashlight come on. So he's trying to guide me back. He doesn't know my oxygen's off. And he asked me something. I said, no, my air's out already. He goes, okay, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. He goes, how the hell what are you doing? And I was like, he said, how are you still breathing if your air's out? And I was like, I pulled my mask off. He's like, oh, okay. Because you're not going to do that in a fire.
Yeah.
And you know,
so what you're saying is in the training environment, you can have your mask off and it's fine.
Yeah, because there's no smoke in there.
Right.
Well, in this room. But they want you to understand how to use the gear.
Obviously,
like, hey,
obviously, yeah.
And especially they're like, tell you, hey, if you run out of oxygen, it's going to stick to your face and you might start panicking.
Right.
And if you're in a fire, because one of the guys did that I was with, there was smoke and we were supposed to get the victim out and my oxygen starts vibrating again. I said, hey, bro, we got to go. We got to go. And the instructor's yelling in his ear. He hears me tell him, hey, John, I'm running out of oxygen. We got to go, brother. He goes, hold on, I'm trying to get the victim. And the instructor's screaming in his ear and somebody else is yelling. So they're trying to make him panic. And I was like, John, we got to go. I'm grabbing him because we got to get the hell out so I can get some air.
Yeah.
And then John's like, man, fuck it. Like, he stands up, took his mask off. They're like, oh, he's done. He's done. You're both dead. Moreno, lay down. You're out of oxygen. Take your mask off. So I'm like, bro, I didn't even see what happened because most of the time we're blacked out. Mm-hmm. And apparently they said he stood up, took all his gear off, started screaming. He's like, man, fuck this. Fuck that. I don't want to do this anymore. And they're like, oh, well, you're dead. Lay down.
We're dead anyway.
Moreno, you're out of oxygen. Lay down. I was like, damn. All right. So we're just laying there. I was like, man, that sucks because they want you to, I guess, be cool under pressure.
You have to be.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You have to be. And I wasn't trying to razz them, but they were when I started hitting them. I was like, hey, John, we got to go. I'm running out of air.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, hold on. I said, John, we got to go, man, because it was hard enough to get in there. I got to remember the path that we came up here. so we can get back out safely. Well, once the instructor heard that, they started, "Bah!" That kind of reminded me of boot camp. I'm like, okay, you got to learn to be cool, which I didn't start panicking. I was like, John, we just got to go, man.
Yeah.
I said, the victim's already dead. He said, we got to get him out. I was like, John, we got to go. So, all right, Moreno, you're dead. Lay down. John, you're dead. Lay down. I was like, fuck. And he's all pissed off. He's like, man, this is bullshit. He's laying there cussing up a storm and stuff. I was like, bro, we're dead. Shut up. We're supposed to be dead. We're victims now. Because the next crew comes in. Hey, I found a victim. I was like, oh, man, this is going to be fun. And I'm the one they found. So they're trying to get me out of the building. And I'm like, oh, cover my nuts and just getting manhandled. Yeah. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm as flexible as I am. Because one guy's got my legs over his shoulders, got his face all in my crotch. And the other guy's trying to drag me. And I was like, I'm just sitting there holding on for dear life. And the instructor, because I have my mask off this time, she's just laughing. And she's like, watch his head, watch his head. So I'm holding my helmet, just getting manhandled, tossed around, hitting plywood, hitting 4x4s. And
oh, man.
Then we get to the stairs. And then they got to drag me down. I'm like, ding, ding, ding. I was like, oh, this sucks, man.
Shut up. Oh, man.
Yeah.
When you said the stairs, I was like, he's not going to tell me that they just dragged him down like every single one.
Yeah, the metal stairs. Because they're supposed to kind of carefully carry you down, but they're trying to get me the hell out so they can get back up. There's still 3 victims up there. Get them down. And they got us to the bottom. They're like, all right, man, are you all right? I said, yeah. So come on, walk out of the room. I was like, all right. And they ran back upstairs trying to get the other guys.
Oh, man. So, hey, I'm going to ask you to kind of put on your, I don't know, your humble cap a little bit. Not really, but how do you think, so let me ask you this. How did the younger people react to you wanting to be being there? What was the reaction of you being there to them?
I don't think I ever saw any difference. Not once did anybody call me old man or, everybody else there was one guy, he was the most in shape kid, and he never, when I was getting us PT'd harder one day, he's like, Moreno, shut the hell up already. I said, man, we got this. We can do this all day. He's like, shut up. I was like, dude, you're the specimen of the group and you're complaining about PT.
Yeah.
But not once did I ever have anybody, come on, oh man, you got this, you got this. I was always the one pushing everybody. Come on, we're almost done. Don't let them beat you. We're almost here.
Did you find yourself like kind of, I don't know, not in like a dad role, but like a big brother role, or of like a role in the sense of like, that they would kind of lean on you for certain stuff? I don't know. Does any of that sound familiar?
Yeah. I would say maybe the big brother role, or I don't know if they thought I knew more than they did, because we're on the same boat. We all started fresh, but right. I would get a lot of questions about stuff.
Just like life stuff or like firefighting stuff?
Firefighting stuff. You're
like, bro, I just started too.
Yeah. Cause we just took our state test about 3 weeks ago, and I want to say most of us passed, but a couple of us didn't. There's like one section you got to go retest. And one of them hit me up. She goes, hey, how are we supposed to do this and that? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, you feel the same section I did. I said, we got to talk to captain and he's going to let us know. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I know? I was like, I don't know. I said, I'm trying to find out too. Like I said, the main thing I think was the breathing part. I use that at everything. I try to sleep with my mouth taped closed. So everything's just breath in and out through the nose.
But I mean, I feel like that you being a firefighter kind of helps that too, right? Like it's more natural for you because you do that for work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to use that to prolong a tank so I don't run out fast enough. That too is, I said, my age. My buddies, I only have a handful of friends, and I don't think very many of them were like, what are you doing? A lot of them weren't surprised. There was other people that are acquaintances.
Yeah.
That were surprised. Man, at your age, you're doing that? Oh, you're going back to school? And,
do you feel like that that doing the yoga like helps prevent like a lot of injuries that you might have?
Definitely.
So like back, knees.
Yeah. Yeah, because the tank.
Shoulders.
Oh, yeah, because, we're that tank. Towards the end, you were in gear all day long.
Right.
And that tank's heavy. The gear by itself is 40 pounds. And then you add the tank on top of that and everything else. Well, my back was bothering me one day. We're going to some revolution. All right, cool. This crew's going up next. Cool. So I take my tank off. I'm standing there, still in full bunker gear, head to toe. And I'm doing the cat-cow pose.
Right.
And the instructor's like, Moreno, what the hell's wrong? You all right? I said, yeah, I'm just stretching out right now. He's like, what the fuck? Now he looks at me. He's like, oh, yeah, you do that yoga shit, huh? And I was like, yeah. And it helped me, like, it felt brand new all over again. You know, I was like, man, it's amazing how a couple stretches here and there.
Well, when you were telling the story about like climbing through the pipe and it was just like never going to end, and then you were talking about like really stretching like long and stuff like that and being able to push kind of with your feet and stuff. I was thinking all yoga at that time, like that had been a benefit of kind of doing yoga. Would you agree or no?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like I mean, because it helps make you small, right? Like I don't mean small, but it just helps make you be able to get in a tighter space, right?
Yeah.
It's like when those guys used to put themselves in those boxes.
Oh yeah, and
then we just
street
like
performers.
and then they would just in that box, like you know. So usually how we're kind of already talking, but usually how I wrap this up is I usually ask everybody like, hey, so how do you moderate your life? How do you balance your life? What do you do to make sure James is taken care of so that you can take care of everybody else? Obviously yoga, right? What else do you do?
Man, I try to stay all kinds of fit. Like I got a bike recently, and it's a little raunchy piece from Academy, and I still ride it. You know, try to do 5 miles at least twice a week. I do walking with the weighted vest now. Instead of running, I don't run anymore, but I do like 3 miles with 40 pounds on me, walk around my neighborhood. Recently, I took up jujitsu. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. And then after that, I do the yoga, and that helps even more because if not, I'd be all tight and stretched and, you know, not be able to stretch as well, you know?
So you find ways to kind of like challenge yourself physically, even outside of work, because, you know, work is also going to have, like, you don't want to be such a big difference between work and play, kind of, right? Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Like you want they to kind of match each other so it's not so drastic every time you go, I would assume, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't want to get off and then just for 4 days be off and just playing video games all day long, you know?
Right.
You know, nothing wrong with that. Some people do that and it's great. Some people make good money at that. But I don't want to just be all sedentary.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be fit, be active, be able to do what's asked of me.
So, am I correct in saying that like that you how long you been sober now?
April was a year.
Okay. Yeah. So is it kind of like have you kind of done this like off and on? Do you do this at times, or is this your final time? Are you going to be sober from now on, or like what's your like? Have you done sobriety things for where you were sober for a while and drink and or whatever? Yeah,
I used to be sober for a few months and then hit. I guess not benders, but every time I would just be drinking a lot, and you know I don't know why, other than alcoholic and addiction. I don't know why I would leave work and give me a beer. I would drink one. I was like, man, it would hurt my stomach. And I didn't like that. But I'm sitting there arguing with myself. I was like, oh, a couple's not going to hurt you. You know, then I'm working out in the morning, all hungover. I'm like, oh, I hate that, you know? So then I finally was like, man, no more drinking because I don't like feeling that. And I hate missing, even if it's going to be a walk, I hate missing a workout.
Right.
You know? I know I'm not in the best of shape, but I'm getting back there.
I don't know, dude. I you know, when you said like, you know, rounds of shape, you know, I would venture to say like, even though you're not the superhero physical specimen of a fireman, I would venture to say you're in pretty damn good shape. When we were taking a break, I told you, I was like, I don't know if I could do that right now. Like that's, I mean, to me, that's impressive. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, you know, not every and I guess not every package is wrapped the same way.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, like our instructor, the captain, he's 9 months younger than me. Because we did I forgot what it was, and I had to see his license. I took a picture of it, and when I was looking at it, I zoomed in. I was like, this dude, like, he thought he was 3 years older than me. And I said, Captain, I said, I'm 9 months older than you. He's like, what? And he's been doing this for 18 years, you know?
Oh, wow.
So he's coming close to the end, and it's funny because here I am starting up.
Well, that's how I feel about like my little girl, right? So like I'm 46 and she's 1.5. Everyone that I mean, how old's your oldest?
My oldest is 29.
Yeah, 29.
And my youngest, Jackson, he's 12.
Yeah, and mine's a year and a half. I mean, what am I doing?
Yeah. You know I got a friend of that, her oldest was 18, graduating, and oh, shoot, I'm pregnant. I was like, damn, girl, what the hell? You were that close. Yeah. You were out. You were out. Start all over again.
And so what else? Like, so what else do you do? Like so obviously you're down with your fitness. You're doing a lot of, do you meditate? You do any meditate? Well, I mean, when you're doing yoga, you kind of meditating. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of your meditation time.
Times when, like I take yoga seriously, man. Like my mat is my space.
Yeah, straight up.
You know, my mat is my space. I've had to, like I took it to class. I had a yoga class for college, and it's not the same as I I was thinking it'd be the same, but
in college it's not the same.
No. Because they go by a different book. and all the poses have a different name. I was like, man, I don't know what the hell that is. I know the Sanskrit names that I learned.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, it's this pose. But you know, my yoga mat is my sacred space. You know, I had a guy kind of step over and say, hey, bro, what the heck is man? It's just a mat. I said, no, man, don't. I said, you know, this kid doesn't know anything. I'm not going to chew him out. But I said, look, man, this is my mat. You know, it's kind of disrespectful. Your feet are dirty. You walk on my mat. You know, I put my face right here. He goes, oh, okay, man, sorry about that. You know, but because starting with the yoga class, you know, I had the instructor. I'd see people throw their mat out. I'm like, dude, that's kind
You're
of
supposed to roll it out real slow, right?
yeah, however you want. But I'd set mine down, just roll it out. You know, just get it ready. But some people, like I saw a lot of people. It's always females. Out of 12 people, I was always the only guy there. You know.
Yeah.
But some of the girls are there just doing the poses, going through the motions. You know, to me, it was like a whole. I don't even know how you say it. Not even a lifestyle, just a whole
Experience.
Yeah.
I mean, like yoga is a good place to be present, right?
Yeah.
It's a good place to just be there.
Yeah.
Just you don't have to do anything else. Worry about your phone, your job, or anything. Just be on your mat, like you said, in your space, right?
Yeah, because I'd have like say something's going on at that time, and I've got all these stuff going on in my head. I'm like, shut up, just breathe and enjoy the pose. You know what you're supposed to be feeling. You're not even in the moment. Let all that go and just stretch till you feel it where it needs to be. And you know, I can kind of block all whatever stress is going on, block it out, and work on myself. You know, like say, oh man, I had this pain in my leg. Let me do this stretch or follow along so I can concentrate on this right now. That problem is going to be there when I'm done. Let me just work on James for right now.
Right.
You know?
And so I guess my question from that first one was, so how is talk about your sobriety now and what it's doing for you now? Like because are you going to do this forever? Is that kind of the goal? Is the goal to be sober forever?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, goals change, but I'm just saying that's your goal right now. So what feels so good about it that you want to do that, I guess is what I'm asking.
I see on the family life, I say it's better. Like
you have more patience.
Yes. And like Celeste didn't like me drinking. You know, she would say she didn't know if I was going to be Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You know, sometimes I'd go over the edge or go too far or just most times happy. I thought I was happy. And I was like, man, babe, remember I was going having a good time? And then I thought about it. I said, no, I was having a good time. She was kind of worried about, okay, is he going to drink too much? You know, she was walking on eggshells around me.
Right.
And, you know, I thought about that and I felt terrible. I was like, man, I didn't even put you in that spot. I never considered your point at all. I didn't realize you were in that spot, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, so let me just take that away. That way, you know, like to say happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Well, why not just have a happy marriage, you know, happy life?
Well,
you know?
and I feel like you kind of checked your ego a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You go like, hey, this isn't all about me. This is about her too. Like she's here too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have, I don't know, you have a commitment to her.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably didn't sign up for that. No, but nobody does though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody's got to figure out like what they're cool with.
Yeah.
But you know, like, you know,
like she's fine if I smoke. She's fine. Like she used to tell me, smoke. You're so much more relaxed if you smoke. I was like, but I can't. I would. But over the years, I think I've done a handful of times. But having the CDL, I wouldn't. I shouldn't have been doing it. Right. You know, in case it was an accident or something. But luckily, nothing happened. So, you know, maybe one day when I retire, I'll smoke a big fat one somewhere on the beach. But you know, she always tell me, baby, you're so much more relaxed when you smoke. I said, I know. Or she said, I like you so much more when you smoke. I said, I know I like you too more when I smoke. You know, it's kind of mean. She's like, great. But
well, let me ask you this. Like sometimes this is going to sound crazy and you're going to be like, nope. Sometimes when you do yoga, do you kind of get a similar high, like a similar feeling? Like, you know, like
I have, yes.
I feel like I have too. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I asked.
Yeah.
It's because there's, you know, there's a certain level of like when you smoke that it kind of just relaxes your brain. You know what I mean? I think that's why a lot of people do it, right? Yeah. But also like yoga relax your brain.
Yeah, because there's been times when I'm in the middle of a pose, shaking, holding it. I'm like, this sucks, this hurts. I was like, why are you even here? And then I'm like, shut up and just go with it, you know? Yeah. And when it's all said and done, I'm like, oh my God, I needed that so much. I needed that. I didn't even realize I needed it, you know?
My workout partner is this guy, Tom. I talk about him all the time. And he's, I think he's 62. And a man, he is as tight as a guitar string. I mean, he is so tight. But we've gotten to where we do yoga like twice a week, and he's made progress, not a ton of progress, but he's made some progress, and you don't realize how valuable that is at his elevated age, right?
Yeah.
Like how important that is for him. And you know, you're already doing that right now. You know what I mean? You're getting like a running start at this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what me and who was I talking about that with yesterday about the things we're doing. Oh yeah. People don't start taking care of themselves till they're older, so they've already had all these medical problems. Like, oh man, start taking vitamins, start taking fish oils. I'm like, that's good, because I started taking that years ago, you know, vitamins and fish oils and things for my joints. That way, if I do hit a wall, it won't be as severe. You know, I'm like, oh man, I can't even move, you know. What yoga pose can I use to help me strengthen this back up or something like that, if I'm saying it correctly. But if that makes sense to you.
Well, like, do you think about yoga? Like, do you think about yoga when you're doing, like, I don't want to say, not doing training drills, but like certain things that you do as a firefighter? Do you think, oh, if I work on this yoga pose, this would help me with this particular thing? Does that ever, maybe it doesn't, like maybe it's not, they're too far away from each other, you know?
I think other than the flexibility.
Well, just kind of like, I think about, you have to, this, I sound so stupid. You have to you have to, sometimes you have to take the ceiling down, right? Yeah. And that mobility, that's hard on your shoulders. And without the mobility at your shoulders, like you could get a lot through yoga, that would make it much tougher. Is that a good example, maybe?
Yeah, because also with that, doing stretches like that, scapular push-up, that's your back. But sometimes I'll take the Olympic bar and do reps, up and down,
right? Mimicking what you're doing, right?
Yeah. And then after that, stretch it out. Do a bunch of good stretches, because that way to keep it from getting
locked down.
There you go, locked down. But I mean, at our age, like we're 80 years old or something. But do you remember any older people from being 45, being I guess as young as we are?
Look, I told you earlier, I was like, I mean, Billy was like old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you said he was 24. And I was like, I didn't realize he was 24.
Yeah, he was only 24, because I was like, dude, he's only 6 years older than us.
I thought he was like in his 40s. You know what I mean? Like, because like I was so young and I'd never even come across anybody like Billy before, coming from my small town. I mean, he was such a personality, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We should talk him into doing this.
You should. I mean, he was in Victoria, I think, last week.
Okay, well, now I'm actually going to, now I'm going to get you. Now we're going to get you.
If you get a chance, I think he's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I mean, I can do remote.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Back to yoga real quick. There was an older lady. I want to say she's 89, 85, somewhere. She came to class a couple months one day. And I remember she was just old and tight and hunched over. And she had to do it with a chair. And I remember the first month her doing it, she was so excited. She's like, look. And she reached over and touched her toes. Man, that was so cool. I was like, she couldn't do that the first week she got there.
Did she ever get out of that chair onto the mat?
I don't remember. But I remember she stood up out of the chair and bent over and touched her toes. It took her a minute, but she was, oh man, that was the coolest thing, because she couldn't do that the first week she got there, the first day.
Hey, stretching's important.
Yeah, big time.
Big time.
Like they say, use it or lose it, and you see that in the older people. You know, they're all tight and hunched over, and you know.
Here, you want my quick like 2 cents?
Sure.
Run sprints.
Run sprints.
Mm-hmm. No,
that hurts.
Hey, no. Hey, run. Because think about this. Okay, so like they say that the slower you walk, the closer you are to death.
Oh, damn.
Right. And so by running, like, so me and Tom, we run sprints, and then actually at the end, like we race each other. So I set him up in front of me, and then I try to chase him down, right, to make him like run faster.
Yeah.
But like when we run a lot of sprints, just my gait when I walk is so much better, because I really extended it, right? Yeah. And it's so dynamic. And so you take all that yoga that you're doing, all that core work you're getting out of it, and then you apply it in a really dynamic way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just race those kids. Race those kids around.
When I walk, Celeste will go with me, and she's like, slow down. Because I'm like, no, because I've got a tracker, you know, and I can do a mile in 15 minutes. And that's like a good pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like to go any slower than that.
Running sprints is kind of, it's like you start off like, I feel like I was just going really slow. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was just like, it just doesn't matter. I'm just going to run as fast as I can. I'm not even going to worry about it. You know, because that's all Tom's doing. Yeah. He's just running as fast as he can.
Yeah. That's what he's got to do. He's got to beat himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, until I set him up in front of me and then I race him.
You go trip him or what?
Yeah. No. Like, hey,
Poor Tom.
I try to set him up just far enough that I can't catch him. Like I want to really try to catch him, and then I yell at him the whole time.
Tom, come in.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm right behind you. And don't you stop running. No, he loves it, man. And it's real.
Awesome.
It's motivating for both of us. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he's kind of. I've talked about him with her.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
just like hey, next time, hey, when you're at the fight, just hey, get all it. Let's see how slow these guys are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, we had to run one time. We had a different instructor, and she runs all these Spartan races.
Mm-hmm.
So you know she's built like a shit house or a brick shit house. She's ripped and shredded. Well, you know, I was up front because I'm one of the slowest, and they had another cadet. She was up in front, and I'm trying to slow down to keep up with her, and she's barely going. The instructor's like, "Guys, I'm walking." I was like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm like, I'm trying. Come on. I'm pushing her, pulling her, and everybody's like, pretty much kind of walking and fast paced behind us. I'm like, I'm not this slow. The instructor, she's really literally walking. She's like, "Guys, come on, pick it up." And I was like, you know, I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to throw anybody into the bus. So I grab her arm. I'm like, "Come on, like, just pick up the pace," you know. And I'm pretty much dragging. And she's like, "Oh." I was like, "Come on, man, it's not bad. Come on, we're almost there. We only got a mile to go. Let's finish."
Oh man. Well, did you enjoy yourself, my man?
Oh yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
No, I mean, thanks for coming to. Hey, and thanks for all the fancy drinks you brought me too.
Yeah, man. Let me know when you do.
Yeah, hey,
I
mean, no one's more excited about you stopping drinking than me. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So whenever everybody gets out of here, I make them give me a hug. You can push that mic out, and you gotta give me another big ass hug. Yeah, what you got here? Yeah. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, great seeing you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Good.